All right, I do believe that's working. Let me set this up so I can hear. All right, just make sure I'm going. All right, cool. We are all good to go. So, what I want to start off in this one is talking about last night's truck race, and I would have done this anyway, whether it ended up winning or not. But I want to use this as an example of why I think it's very, very important to analyze lineups as they're going through the race. And I'm gonna do this as I like waste time and allow people to join and stuff like that. But when we look at last night's race and how it ended up turning out with the optimal lineup, um, having having basically all place differential, laps led, fast laps, none of that even mattered. It was, let me see this. Let me see. Where was it? The optimal lineup, which yet again, thank you, Race Sheets, Phil, previously at Stochastic posted this on Twitter. Here, I'll just open this up. This in a new tab so we can kind of all view it together, and I'll bring it here. And there we are. Why am I not on the screen? Oh, it's because I was maximizing that. When we look at how this lineup ended up playing out and what the optimal lineup looked like last night, you had the two 10K guys come through with all the place differential. And I'm using this as an example to teach or at least talk or I don't know. Some of you might view this as an excuse that I'm making, but this is how I analyze this. And so in my head, entering this race, these were situations. Now, Corey did get laps led and fast laps, but he was sitting right at like 69, 68 points for the entire race. Okay. We can all agree with that until he took the lead late in like stage 3 and certainly before the pits and everything. The section between stage 2 and before the green flag pit stops in stage 3 was what I find is one of the most interesting situations in DFS that we can find. And that is where place differential is either being duplicated by other players or other performers and scoring the exact same. So Corey Heim was like scored completely, or not scored. He was played like by half the field, correct? We had like Corey at like 44, 40. We had Kyle Busch like 40, 45. I had one lineup with Corey Heim, and it was taken out early because I believe it had Bailey Curry. So I had no Corey Heim, okay? Basically a complete fade on Corey Heim. And up until the final green flag pit stops when everybody got speeding, I was making $600. I was in 33rd. The best line was in 33rd. But when you looked at how the field was playing, you had like you had like a train of like 4 or 5, 6 guys up top who had Corey Heim splitting 5K for pretty much the entirety of the race. And then you had a couple other guys with the same lineup filling out the top 10. And when you started looking at like the top 40 lineups, the winning lineups had Corey Heim, and they were leading by like 2-3 points. And then throughout the other ones did not have Corey Heim. It was a situation to where both the Gray brothers, who started basically identically to where Corey Heim was running top 10. You had Ty Majeski, who nobody owned, leading laps. You had Nick Sanchez, who nobody owned, leading laps, getting fast laps as well. And depending on what build you had, especially if you're using Raja Caruth, you were either scoring identically and certainly slightly different compared to like all the Corey Heim chalk and stuff like this. And so this ended up being the optimal lineup, which was so interesting. And this was the main thing I wanted to talk about. I posted this in Discord last night. This is how I build. This is a fantastic example of what I try and aim for. So clearly, this is like with 4 to go, and I'm all fucking pissed off because I've just lost everything because all my guys were speeding. But this lineup was fighting head to head directly, and this was built specifically to go against the Corey Heim plays. Okay. And it was very, very viable until you look at everybody who got speeding on this lineup and stuff. And Rhodes was literally just to fill it out to try and find some place differential to contend with and stuff. But like this line was not duplicated at all, had literally the lap leaders who nobody played. People were getting fast laps who nobody played. And they all got speeding in the race. Like my entire night was taken away on pit road, which is just going to happen there. But notice how like this wasn't Heim. I didn't play Corey Heim really at all, and not only was I making money, I was competing at the top of the contest. I would have loved to see how this race would have played out if it stayed green, especially once everybody got new tires, fast laps started being distributed left and right. Roger ran away with the field. I really, really would have been incredibly curious on how this lineup would have ended up doing because I think it probably would have finished like top 20, no doubt. But I'm very curious on how it would have finished. And so when we're going back to like when we're looking at Las Vegas and stuff, and we look at how I approach things and how I build things, like sure, people might be like, "You're just pissed off you didn't play Corey Heim. You know that was dumb. What are you, a stupid idiot? What are you, a dumb? What are you, big dumb dummy? Not playing Corey Heim." We were competing. At least I was. You know, so whenever I'm, fading people or building differently and stuff, I'm not just like, you know, at least for me, like I think I'm building very, very viable lineups, fading the chalk or off a chalk and stuff like that. And I just wanted to like point that out. Like that this was a really, really interesting type of slate last night because there was a lot of trains up there. A lot of chalk was coming through, and I was doing a very good job of not being duplicated in that contest. When we look at today's and yet again, like you have to, at least for me, visualize where people go, how race can play out, specifically with like salary constraints. Like unlike last night, and I wanted to go through this to explain why I'm just playing 100% Justin Allgaier moving on. It's not because what Corey Heim did last night. It's not because of any of that. It's because when we look at where he is projected based on the rest of the field, based on the rest of the salary around him in the 10K range, Allgaier blowing a tire, wrecking out is the only way it doesn't work. So, like for me, right off the bat, I'm playing 100% Allgaier today, and I did not want that to come across or be taken as like, oh, I didn't play Corey Heim. Now I'm going to play 100% of this guy in the back. That's not it at all. It's just running projections and looking through and finding viable ways that are what is it? Um, like still viable and stuff. What's going on, Sterling? Yeah, like Caruth. I'm surprised Caruth actually even coming higher. Um, I don't think any of us thought he would win, but maintaining a run position inside the top five was very impressive. And then like they actually showed up. That was nice. Oh yeah, like the Connor Jones as well. Like Connor Jones came through late because like all the lineups up top had like Matt Mills, they had Connor Mozak, and then you have the chalk like Connor Jones coming through. It was, last night was a very, very interesting slate to look at live scoring, which I would advise everybody to do, especially like when we get into like stage 3, a little bit in the run, as long as there's not like shenanigans. Like we didn't have any wrecks last night either. Like that's a perfect way to analyze what your projections are looking like. Like the sims that I would look at them based on right before, green flag pit stops happen in stage 3, because that was how the race, I don't say how it should have gone, because like races just go their own way. People are going to speed on pit road, but like looking at my stuff based on right before green flag pit stops directly change the course of the DFS outcome. That's where I try and aim to be at, and I was fucking right there. And that's like, so that's more annoying than anything, um, to be honest. When we're looking at this race here, like Justin Allgaier is, I just play Justin Allgaier. I'm not even going to. I'm dealing with 5 players. I'm playing 100% Allgaier. Moving on. No reason to even sit on that. Based on where he's at. When we're looking at the lap leaders up top, let's kind of go through and yet again, starting from last year, looking at recent form. Actually, let's do this here. So we'll bring this because I know people like this last time or last year when I would do it. So let's bring this here and plot it directly against. Let's make sure I'm out of the frame. So this one will be. Wait a minute. I need, okay, so on the top. So I need this one. Okay. All right. So we have our starting grid right on the right side. We have how everybody ran last year based on what I look at and what I base projections off of. percentage of laps ran in the top 5, percentage of laps ran in the top 10, top 15, the amount of fast laps you're getting, the speed on pit road that your team has, and then average running position. But that is weighed towards the bottom because I think that's a main issue that driver rating has. But let's just go through the grid and see how people did last year compared to how they're doing in qualifying and practice. So let's see. I should have put a Cole Custer shirt on. Cole Custer, top 3 car in all these races. Clearly outside of Kansas and Pocono. But like, look, man, good at Homestead, good at Las Vegas. I can't believe people aren't bringing up like Homestead. Like, I'm not one to be like, we need to look at specific tracks, but like Homestead is like the track I'd be looking at for Las Vegas. People want to bring up Kansas. I'm like, just last year when we were like going to Homestead second, or the year before, like third, fourth week in the row, everybody's like, Las Vegas and Homestead are close together. And now like nobody's bringing up Homestead. Like, Cole Custer is by far the best car. SHR is by far the best car. When we look at Chandler Smith, is it really shocking that I gotta type his whole name? Is it really shocking that Chandler Smith is showing speed in practice and qualified second? No, not at all. When we're looking at AJ Allmendinger, and when we're looking at, oh man, AJ, I was trying to just type this one in. When we look at like where AJ Allmendinger was when he hopped in, third best car at Nashville, like, whoa, man, Nashville and Las Vegas have nothing in common. We can't use other tracks other than like Las Vegas and Kansas. I don't know what else like shows this type of. Now this is sure qualifying, but like I mean we're seeing similarities at all these other 1.5s. Like it's not that shocking. I'm going to go through the entire field here just so you can see where everybody kind of stands. So we're going to kind of go fast here so I don't have to answer any questions. But like everybody's kind of where they're at. If anybody's like out of where they should be, that's kind of like, I can't even spell. That's kind of like where like the alarms kind of go off for me. Like Ryan Sieg, I'm not going to play Ryan Sieg today, man. He's starting 6th. And this is just based on this type of stuff. We'll then follow this up with where they are in practice. But like, why would I even bother playing Ryan Sieg? Why would I really bother playing Parker Kligerman? Like Kligerman is right where he's gonna end up being. And then again, we'll look at practice data. I'm just using this as the main thing. But like Sammy Smith, right where he falls in line. Creed in a JGR car, you can argue that that's gonna bump him up a little bit. But I mean, we're still in the same range. And so when we're looking at the 9, 10K guys, like Justin Allgaier starting dead last, Cole Custer, who has the best car, like those are the 2 guys I want to play the most of. So if I'm playing a lot of Justin Allgaier and I'm playing a lot of Cole Custer, we're going to be really just diversifying in the value range, whether we're using, 8K guys, 6K guys to round them off, whatever the case may be. Also, if you guys want me to look at anything specifically, do let me know, because I do like when the comment section is at least filled up a little bit. I know there's only 36 of you guys here. We're doing this a bit early on a Saturday, but I want to get this done before Cup Series practice and stuff like that. Eric Amarola and basically any Joe Gibbs car, we know where those cars are going to line up. When we look at Herbst and how he ended his year last year, yet again, like that, this stuff isn't. Let's get Riley on there. Stuff isn't crazy, man. Like Riley doesn't win at Las Vegas unless he has a good car. Like he's there. He's able to get there. Like this is somebody who's, starting 11th just off of this. I'd want to move up, or I'd expect him, based on where he was last year, based on where he started, and then based on, we'll use Herbst like an example here. So like Herbst in practice, 11th average. And this is, if you run long laps, it's going to hurt you more if you don't, but like he's playing for the long run here. When we look at 5 and 10 lap runs, we see him getting faster and faster. And while it's not necessarily like the number that is important, it's directly important with who he's racing against. I was like, I don't know what that noise was. It's who he's directly like racing against. Like he's going to be racing against like Park Kligerman, Austin Hill, Corey Heim, like all the guys up front. Where does he line up based on these guys and stuff? Like, yeah, sure, Allgaier is the fastest car, blew a tire in qualifying. Of course, he's last. Like, why would we not play Allgaier? Why would we not play Cole Custer? But like this time isn't that drastically off compared to other people. So like if we're actually looking for other people to play in like, the 9K range, like he's the most appealing car. We look at John Nemechek. Like, it then goes to Nemechek has to directly outscore Allgaier and or Cole Custer. He could either that's kind of why I brought up last night. Not because it's like this is Xfinity series just like the truck series. Like we're not looking at that aspect, but we're looking at like how lineups will break down salary wise. Like what do you need to have happen in order to have two 10K guys in a lineup, or like an 11K guy and a 10K guy in here? It's going to be very, unless like Cole Custer truly just runs away with the race, Allgaier finishes second, and then Nemechek finishes third and just gets all the fast laps. Like that's the way that all three of those guys could work together. Outside of that, we're not going to really realistically find situations where two expensive guys, especially when Allgaier is just the better play off of Nemechek. Like it's very hard to find Nemechek working because he has to directly compete for the win against Cole Custer and directly compete against the win with Allgaier, who already has all that place differential stuff there in the back. When we look at Jones, like we know where Jones is. I know these guys are in different cars and stuff, depending on who you're looking for, but like we know where all these guys fall in line. Jesse Love, just look at where Sheldon Creed was, man. Like you can't tell me like how Creed performed in this car is going to be any different than how like Love performed. Like Love should elevate it. It shouldn't be any worse, but like that's where Creed was, you know. Jesse Love is starting 15th. All right, man. Fucking lock him in for 8th and like lock him in for 7th, see what that projection is and stuff. Can we use him at that point and stuff? And so like as we go through, like Clements, you know, like he's that's rough. Pool in the Alpha Beta Prime car, like that's, I mean, this is in like, you know, shittier JD equipment and stuff, but like 18th, at least I'm pretty sure he's in the Alpha Beta Prime car. I don't necessarily remember off the top of my head here. Oh, I forgot to tweet this. This thing out. I guess I'll tweet it when I'm done. Yeah, he's an Alpha Beta Prime car. Like, okay, how did Ryan Ellis do last year? How did Cesar Bassarella do whenever? Well, that was actually just super speedways and stuff. But like, Brennan Poole is going to elevate whatever equipment he's in, correct? But like, he's starting 18th. You know, this is a car that in his equipment can run 20th, 18th, and stuff like this. Like, we can't play Poole. We're not going to play Honeyman, Kyle Weatherman, and stuff like that. It's like when we get to Weatherman, you know, this is where like these riskier plays and stuff come through because he's starting 20th. That's like towards the bottom of his ceiling stuff, you know. And yes, he can move up and finish, you know, 14th, 15th and stuff, but like that's concerning. Jeb Burton, same situation. Can the $72 price tag or $7,200 price tag work if he finishes like 13th to 15th, somewhere around that range and stuff? So like that's what you have to do, or at least that's what I do for all these guys, to go through and look at who I want to play and stuff like that. And I'll answer your question in a second. Sterling, yeah, what's up, AD? How you doing, man? Happy to have you back. So like, you know, I know it's kind of like a meme question and stuff, but I'm sure somebody will come in here like being mad that Haley Deegan's in the race and stuff. I like Haley Deegan at $6,100. I have her projected for, I got her at a staggering 32 points. That's like 20th, 21st and stuff. If we bump her down a little bit, 28, 4.5 value, I'm still fine with that. Especially because I'm having to pay up for Allgaier, Cole Custer. Like I'm gonna be in the 6K range. I'm gonna be in the 6 to 5K range today. I haven't finished my lineups, but I have messed with quite a few, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna just end up kind of using a majority of like Jesse Love, like Haley Deegan, Weatherman, probably like Corey Heim and stuff. Really just trying to fill the just filling the lineup out and stuff. As we go through and look through practice and qualifying, release practice data. I mean, I don't know, like especially at like Las Vegas track like this, you know, Truck Series went green. The same thing should happen here as long as they survive the first 2 laps. Like Las Vegas is a race that tends to go green. It's very rare we get like a late race crash, to like bunch the field back up unless somebody blows a tire and his backs are into the wall. So like when we're looking at the discrepancy in speed between these cars, like very similar to the Truck Series in that regard, because we're like multi-class racing, man. I also we are at least I didn't want to just be like hating on this fucking fella, but like, dude, Williams is only in this car because he like gave the middle finger to NASCAR. Like, there's a reason he's been in a DG Motorsports car or DGM. Like, what are you doing in this car, my guy? Dude, Landon Castle. That guy sucks as well. And like he was still I don't even know how you run this slow in a collie car. I just don't get it. Like, that's like shocking. This guy, I mean, Williams has been shell shocked the last like 3 weeks. He's like the only guy who left Atlanta being like, I hate this racing, man. Like, he hasn't done a fucking thing this year, man. This poor fella. But like, when we look specifically at Josh Williams, and you check out where he's starting, and we look at what he was doing last year, and I mean, these are not all his problems. Like, these cars had issues, okay? And these are the same cars when they were like actually working well. Like Josh Williams on speed from colleague should be like a 16th, 15th place guy, $74. I'm probably going to play Josh Williams and then just like hate my life when he's like running 28th later. But like he should be able to bring this car to like this range here at least. I don't think he's going to stay in the lead lap if it goes green. But if it goes green, especially in stage 2, till we get freaking speeding penalties and stuff, he should be at the tail end lead lap at $74, starting 32nd. I don't think this is any different than like situations where we played like Jeb Burton starting 22nd at like 30 or not 30, at like $7,100 and stuff like that. The plays that I'm most likely or the plays that I'm probably going to be the most on are people like Jesse Love. I'll probably play Corey Heim and see what they do with the Sam Hunt car this year. See if there's any elevation in that, because we did see a decrease since we had kind of a separation between the TRD performance and Sam Hunt Racing. We didn't necessarily have the closeness that we had like pre-COVID and stuff, or like coming right out of COVID. But I'm perfectly fine playing Corey Heim at 78, Jeb Burton at 72. Like, yet again, if I'm paying up for these expensive fellas, like right off the bat, we are fighting with Custer and Allgaier. We got $7,200 on average. I'm not really going to be in the 9K range. Like, if I'm going to get to like, I'll have money in like the 8K range if I'm doing that. So like, of course, I'm going to get to like Jesse Love and stuff. But I'm primarily staying in the 8, 7, and 6K ranges because I'm playing Allgaier and Custer. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to end up on Custer at the moment. I find it very hard to not want to just be 100% on him here. Like the people that he's competing directly against, his biggest threat is AJ Allmendinger and Chandler Smith. So if you don't think Custer does well, which I might, I kind of like, as I said, as I kind of talk through things, look through like, yeah, fuck it. I could run, 80% Cole Custer and build some killer AJ Allmendinger lineups and build some killer Chandler Smith lineups and stuff. So like, I don't know. I don't know if that helps anybody at all when I'm like, oh no, man, I might want to go 100% on Cole Custer. Might go 80% and then just build accordingly if I don't play. Like, that's kind of how I am. I like Cole Custer today, man. I think it's just Cole Custer and Allgaier. I really do. What are you guys saying? What are you guys thinking down here? What do you guys want me to look at? What's going on, Alex? Happy to have you here. Parker looks good. Yeah, I mean, dude, Parker's annoying. Kligerman is honestly annoying, man. Speaking of that, hey man, what do you think of good old Steven looking for clout? Like, just it's just annoying, that poor guy. Like, I don't really know who he is, the new social media fella who's getting into NASCAR, but like, dude, when did these shitters get so goddamn annoying, man? Like, if they just knew their place, they wouldn't be so hateable. Like, I like Timmy Hill. I think everybody likes Timmy Hill. You've never seen Timmy Hill be this annoying on social media. It's insane, man. Yeah, when we're looking at runs, like, yeah, ooh, wow, man, Klickerman is like top 5 in rankings. I mean, this is 10 laps in. That's 5 minutes into the race. By that point, we also have to contextualize like where people are in this race in terms of like position on the track. Okay, first, second, third, doesn't matter who it is, Custer, AJ, Chandler Smith. That is not important for this conversation. When we're looking at where the leaders are and compared to where Park Klickerman is from where he's starting, which is, let's go back here. He's starting 7th. If the leaders are like midway down the back straightaway, he's coming right out of 2, man. He's back like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 car lengths and stuff. Does he have that speed to run him down in the long run? Who is he running down directly? He's running against Cole Custer, the fastest car on track. He's running against AJ Allmendinger. And also, this is a sense of like, when we're looking here, Ada, you might have this as well on your stuff. But I just like to look at this. So like, when we're looking at AJ Allmendinger in terms of like ranking, it's like, oh man, he didn't run a 10-lap run. Oh, what are we going to do? Well, we could just look at where he is compared to the field. And I think he was like, at least I did this earlier. So like his first laps, got to find my thing. His first laps are these, like that's his ranking and stuff. But we can just go ahead. Let me make sure this is on average. We can just go ahead and look at where he'd be in a 10-lap run, man. It's not that bad. Sure, who cares if he made changes and stuff? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll look right here. So this is 173.6. When we're looking at one, oh yeah, that's why I didn't do it. That's why I didn't fucking do it. I was like, I forgot I have timing here. So like this is 173.6 in terms of speed. When we're looking at where Custer is in that same range, 173 actually. This is 173.6, 173.7. You look at Allgaier, 174.1. Roughly like these guys are all in the same range. Then we look at like Parker Klickerman, like this guy is like not even in contention. He's at 172, man. Like he doesn't have that speed to overtake on the long run, in my opinion. So that's kind of where I'm at. Could a lineup work if I have Custer, Chandler Smith, Allgaier in the same lineup to punt? Yeah, no, I'm literally having that same exact conversation here. That's literally what we're talking about here. I know I haven't mentioned playing Custer and Chandler Smith, but like what happened? I honestly, I really hate this type of question in terms of like, when I'm listening to like football stuff and they're like, well, if you're captain the kicker, you just have to visualize how it happens and stuff. But I don't know if you were here in like the start of the video. Chance, if you weren't, I would advise you to go back and listen to the start of it. I talk about how I specifically build for things like that and give an example of last night of how, I had no Corey Heim and I was making like $400 during the entire race with like no Corey Heim at all, just because I was building directly to go against those types of lineups. When we're looking at caffeine kickers, yeah, dude. When we're looking at like Chandler Smith, Allgaier, and Custer, that is Chandler Smith. That's basically Ty Majeski and Sanchez last night, or Eckes, depending on what situation you're looking at. But like, or actually vice versa. I know it's different salary-wise, but it's a situation where like you had a Raja Caruth truck. Now talking salary, like the truck-wise, started on pole, was fastest, stayed in the top 3 all day, kept checking off fast laps and laps led, kept switching with Ty Majeski. Okay, not talking about salary here, talking about distinctly how 2 cars are running, and how does that happen? Well, you need cars that are going to average running like in the top 4 positions to keep switching the lead, keep switching fast laps. Well, it just so happens when we look at Cole Custer, we got Cole Custer filling out the top 3 here. All right, where's Chandler Smith at? And Chandler Smith can do that. He's done that before. He can be that guy who just runs in third and second all day, takes fast laps and laps led away, gets lead on pit lane, whatever the case may be. Like that's how you build that way. As long as you understand, like if you were asking me, like, thank God it wasn't a question like, do you see like Cole Custer and like Klickerman leading laps? Well, then fuck no, you don't. But like Cole Custer and Chandler Smith, like we can see situations where that would happen. Would I build that way? If I was building 20 lines, I'm doing like 12. If I was doing 20 lines, I probably wouldn't waste that. I'll let somebody else win doing that. Like, if that came through and won, I can't even be mad. Like, that's a decent play, or that's like a smart way to build. If you're building a lot of lineups, I personally wouldn't. But answering your question, could a lineup work? Yeah, of course. Like, we can very easily see how that would work, and um, it's not insane. Alfredo is like, this guy freaking sucks too, man. Freaking pasta sauce, freaking ramen noodle boy. So he blew a tire in practice, and he is in, what is he, Our Motorsports now? I don't even understand the dynamic between this 5 team. Let me see really fast. I do got to check because I do not remember off the top of my head here. I need to look at the entry list. Actually, I could just go to his Twitter here. Any other things you guys want to talk about or chill about or ask why I do this? Yeah, he's with Our Motorsports, man. Still in the 5, not still in the 5, but took the 5 from BJ McLeod to have 100 points entering this year. When we look back at last year, was Moffitt who was in the Our Motorsports car? I cannot remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it was Perkins, man, last year. I could be wrong, but let me double check, and then we can like look at where that car was and based it on speed, like and whatnot. Give me a minute. I do apologize. How about F1? Anybody do anything in F1? Astukas killed it again. Played the optimal. Astukas is killing. I separated quite a lot of lines, and the ones that I played with Red Bull just had the wrong 1v1, which was a very interesting race since nearly every low-owned play came through. Usually it's like 1 or 2, 3 1v1s. This was like Science beat his teammate. Joe beat his teammate. K-Mag beat his teammate. Science beat his teammate. It was all the other teammates, all the low-owned guys came through. So like, shout out to all the guys who did that, because that was a hell of a fucking play. Our Motorsports, where are we at here? I'm so sorry. I'm still. Yeah, it's Perkins in the 02. That was the only Our Motorsports car we had last year. So I'm not crazy. I don't know why I was thinking that. I'm just thinking back. So like, I mean, Perkins is like absolute ass and stuff, but this is that car last year. When we look at where Alfredo was practice before he blew the tire, right in mid-pack, which is where we had seen him run, the BJ McLeod car last year, which was a decent-ish car. Not good, not bad. But like right at like 19th and stuff. Realistically, you end up putting Alfredo at, let's see. What do I got him at? What do I got him? I got him finishing right around. This is a very long-winded way to answer that. I got him like right around 22nd. That's like a 4.8 value play. That was a very long-winded way to say, yeah, he's fine. I'll probably end up playing him. Like I said, I haven't built lines, but looking at salary, looking at probably where I'll end up being at, him starting there based on like a 22nd finish, 20th finish, based on where this is. Yeah, now he's a guy I'd want to be underweight on for sure. I'm going to max him at like 3 of my lines or whatever. So like roughly like 20%, 25% Alfredo. Actually, that'd be less because I don't know math at all. Yeah, probably like 22%, 20-ish percent. That's where I'd want to fall right in line with Alfredo. I apologize that took so long to get that answer. 2. Yeah, and I didn't even look at chat, Sterling. I'm so sorry. You said Perkins, and I thought that, but I was like, dude, it's been forever since Moffitt was in the Our Motorsports car. Sam Mayer, I mean, I don't think Sam. So, secondly, if I would encourage a lot of people to play ugly plays that are good plays, especially in truck and Xfinity. Sanchez, Eckes, Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes. Like, yeah, sure. When we're like pinning them down, like I didn't like Ben Rhodes a lot last night. I just ended up playing him in that line that I showed you just because it's like, well, he's going to be top 12 like times and stuff or whatever. But when you look specifically at where these guys are in terms of like ranking, like we'll use last year's races for an example, and you look at where they're most likely to end up falling in, like where is the top 10? Like these are all guys who are going to compete for a top 10, let's say top 15 to talk about Mayer and stuff like that. I'm going to leave Corey Heim out of it. He'll probably be like 16th, 17th as we continue to go down. We have this guy. I think I've covered about everybody. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys highlighted that are going to be basically round at the top 13. Okay. Going back to your question with Sam Mayer, when we look at where Sam is, this is somebody who is going to run, inside the top 9 to 5. Okay. What happens, or what are situations to where he gets the lead? What are situations where he can scrape off fast laps and stuff? By that, or at least like we're not seeing anything like here that would want you to be like, yeah, I want to go, crazy on like Sam Mayer. Okay. But this is times that like I don't think this week is specifically the week to do this for Sam Mayer specifically. But when we're using him as an example here, there will be weeks where he's a top 4 car and can get fast laps. There will be situations where he gets positions on pit lane, and him at 8,800 actually makes me like somewhat interested. What do I have this guy projected for? The reason being is like Sam Mayer, it would probably end up being like anywhere from like 10 to like 16% owned. Like those are numbers that you would want to have and stuff. That's like the perfect time to be on these guys who aren't necessarily like the primary, or even secondary, tertiary lap leader, but who can get fast laps or just running fourth all day, or we get a green, white checkered and these guys do something stupid. And then we look at the top of the leaderboard and we're like, God damn it, dude, what idiot played Sam Mayer? He showed nothing in practice. Like he that's, so like I like, and I would encourage you to like play more of those types of guys, especially if he's projected poorly, which I mean, I guess I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I got him for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got him for 8th place today. I got him for 9 fast laps and 6 laps led as a projection. You remove the fast laps and bump him down to like 4 fast laps throughout a race that is 200 laps. Sam Mayer gets 4 of those fast laps. That's not crazy. And you got Sam Mayer at 42.8 points, a 4.8 value. So like, I mean, by that logic, you can realistically see him hitting like anywhere from a 4.8. We'll use like a 4.7. He's gonna score from like a 4.6 to a 4.9 value today. In situations where he can elevate that or do slightly better, like that's a fucking great tournament play. That's like how you win GPPs. That's how you get there. He might not be the most glamorous guy, but man, like 88 starting 14th, gonna be in this range all day based on like this type of stuff. If we look at like practice stuff, like, he's like 11th on average. But like planning for the long run, that like these aren't drastically terrible laps. These aren't I mean, this is the concerning part of him like being late in the run and stuff. But like he's in the junior motorsports car. We've seen this from Sam Mayer before. Gets up there late, especially at the high wear racetracks. Everywhere is high wear now. Like he manages tires very well. Like Sam Mayer is a guy that, yeah, if I'm doing 12 lines, I'll probably have Sam like 3 and just say, screw it, man. Field comes in at like 14, 13% on him. I can't imagine he's being, what is SaberSim telling me with? Maybe he is popular because SaberSim has him at a much higher value than I do. They got him for 18.5 ownership. I want to see. This is a situation where I do want to see what Sheets has projected as his ownership. If you want to see these projections and my projections, Sheets projections, and all the other projections that we offer, and or SaberSim, you can join us and support us through links in the description below and join our NASCAR package. So like Sheets has Sam Mayer projected with 23% ownership. Yeah, that's not insane. That's not crazy. If I had him in 3 lineups, yeah, that's not bad. I'm about with the field and stuff. So, like, you know, yet again, very, very roundabout and long answer to you. I don't mind Sam Mayer, man. And I'm really trying not to be like, "Well, I don't mind a lot of these guys," but if I'm going 100% Allgaier, basically 100% on Cole Custer, and filling out the rest, and mainly focusing on, like, the 6K range and probably focusing on having, like, very similar guys in 6K range, which would probably end up being, like, let me see. What are we actually filling these lineups with? Actually, a lot of 7 and 8K guys. Do I have a favorite in this range from just these lines that I've spoken of? Because I'm not really taking a stand on anybody. A lot of lineups that I've just, like, ran because I haven't really truly messed with them yet. They really do go either like Sam Mayer or Jesse Love. They don't have them together. And if they don't go him, they go Brandon Jones. This is probably a race that I don't really have a favorite in these certain ranges, man. So, like, when I'm building lineups today and when I'm finalizing the lineups, very similar to like last night, all my lineups are going to be specifically built to counterbalance either chalkier lineups or trains that I think are going to happen or whatever. They're just all meant to try and get unique in some form or fashion. And so, like, if I'm running Colchester, Allgaier, Sam Mayer, which would end up looking with $6,600 left on average, then I'm probably going to like Anthony Alfredo. Leaves you $6,500 on average. I'll probably end up having a lot of Haley Deegan. I think Haley Deegan will probably be the one person in the 6K range, like actually like giving picks and stuff that I will probably be overweight on based on what builds are looking like and based on the safety net that they offer. Like when we're looking at this, we're gonna switch this up a bit. If I can get on this. When we're looking at change that. When we're looking at this here. Let's open this here. Let's open this here. Let's take a gander at this. And we look at the bottom of the salary range and where they're starting. Okay, you can look at it this way as well, of like what they have to pay off or how drastically like risky they are. Like we're not playing Perkins at 29. We're not playing Dawson Cram at 26. We're not playing BJ McLeod. So we lose the bottom of the salary cap here. CJ is like actually the worst like driver. I think he's taking the crown from Joe Graff Jr. I would be like floored. Like I might believe in the resurrection if CJ like actually finished in the top like 30 today. Um so like I'm not playing the guys in the bottom. Patrick Emily, not as drastically the same as CJ, but like that car is not going to have enough speed to get there. Ryan Ellis starting 23rd, that's like his ceiling. Joey Gase at 52. At that point, if we're in the 52 range, or like I would just rather stay in the 6K range and nail like take the risk on Sage Karam, take it on Haley Deegan, take it on Kaya Weatherman, people that we've actually seen have decent speeds and who can maintain a running position in the top 20. And so for me, maybe like Smithley's too expensive to punt on. Gase is too expensive to punt on, even though he's starting last. Like when we look at Joey Gase here, like that's not encouraging at all, brother. So very similar to last night, not because it's the trucks and Xfinity are similar. It just so happens to be that we're in a similar range to where a lot of the value last night was unplayable, and you end up being in the 6K range. That means Sage Karam, Haley Deegan, Kyle Weatherman are the only guys in this race that you would play. Like this is the lowest you can realistically go outside of like we tear up 20 cars in a corner and have a lot of value come through. You're stuck using Haley Deegan, Sage Karam, and possibly Kyle Weatherman and stuff. So like, do I have a take? I mean, I guess I'm going to be playing Haley Deegan and Sage Karam today. Do I want to? That's kind of where we're at. We're doing Cole Custer, Allgaier, one or not both of Haley Deegan, Sage Karam, or Kyle Weatherman, and then like you just play the 8K guy that you could afford, or play the 9K guy you can afford at that point. This is one of those races to where the stands are kind of already made for us. We just play the guys who are projecting well up top, projected DraftKings points wise, and just kind of fill things out and stuff. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not just rambling. I really do hope I'm like helpful because like last night was like dude, I was like, man, this is gonna make a fucking great video tomorrow, man. I'm gonna be like, see, you don't have to play the chalk. You like place differential plays don't always work. Heim is scoring like 68 points and he's not in. Like this is viable, and then like it just all fell apart, man. Oh man. But yeah, answering the question of 5K drivers, that is not for me. Sammy Smith or Sam Mayer. We can look back. Yeah, sure. That we've switched teams a little bit, but these are, I mean, it's literally those two guys together. I wish we could. I don't really want to separate them because we can see that they run very similar. Okay, they are very very similar. They're actually like 1-to-1s. And so when we're looking at practice and we're seeing Sam Mayer and Sammy Smith, much faster car in the short run, and then falls off very quickly for Sammy Smith. Sam Mayer able to maintain a range position a little bit, or an average range position a little bit better, and we can see that is followed here based on like this type of stuff. Let's go ahead and check the starting positions because I do not remember where they are at. Sam Mayer would be the play that I would want to go to over Sammy Smith for the discount and the extra place differential stuff. Jones starting 13th, but seems to have a knack for this trip. Okay, I like that. That's fucking propaganda. Knack? What does that even mean? Knack. Knack for what? He's been in this series for 10 years. He's like Matt Crafton, okay? He's just like the guy who sits here. He has a knack. Yeah, he has a knack for just running in the same. It doesn't matter what team he's with, what car he's in, where he's at. He's like Daniel Hemrick. He's just going to run 7th his entire career. Brandon Jones, in the fastest JGR equipment ever, he runs 7th. Junior Motorsports runs 7th. He shows the exact same thing in practice every week. You know, he's like, well, we're here, guys. Gotta practice for the long run. Maybe we'll get lucky and get the lead on pit lane or something. And then we look here, and he's like, in the same. He's just even here. I guarantee you, if we look back at his practice speed, he's like always 9th to 12th. And then he'll show up one week and win like once every 2 years, and then he'll just go back to being mediocre. Like, I don't think anybody in this field necessarily has a knack, especially when you're looking at such a condensed schedule and such a condensed like group of drivers, especially in Xfinity where people kind of just get stuck there. Not like Clements has a knack for just running like in the 20s. That's all he does. That's all he does. You know, Ryan Sieg is somebody who like can run well, and he would probably do better. And they've done a significant job at not leaving him out in dumb situations. Remember those like it'd be like every week, man. He'd stay on old tires and he'd start first or second and just kill an outside lane or cause a wreck or whatever. Like wild that your finishes improve when you aren't putting your driver in a situation where he's going to be involved in an accident. And we're seeing that like when he's not crashing, C can finish consistently better than what he used to. You know, normally he's I mean, this is including both Ryan Sieg and Kyle. Like this is where he runs, you know. We'll get situations where he can elevate himself to finish here. But like, does he have a knack for doing that? He just kind of defaults there. So like I don't think anybody has, you know, a knack for really anything, especially in this series. Like, come on, man. It's the same thing each and every week. What track does that? And I'm not trying to like harp on you, but like a knack for what? What I have so many different tracks here to try and push the tail, or not even the tail, but like my opinion of like it doesn't even matter anymore. All these, if you're fast at Nashville, holy dog shit, Spider-Man, you're fast at Texas. How does that work? Like it's because you're just fast. Like so, I would really try and work on not falling into like, oh, so and so has a knack for this type of track, or so and so has a knack for racing in the evening, or if it's like a rain delayed race or whatever. I might be missing Cup Series practice. Hold on, I don't remember what time it starts. I'm either early or I just completely forgot what time it starts because I need to pull data from it. It starts at 2:05. Okay, yeah, so I am early. So yeah, I think that's really about it. I don't know. What else you guys got? What else we want to talk about here? And I talked about Josh Williams earlier. I mean, we've been here for like, oh my God, we've been here for 50 minutes. You can go back and listen to it on 2X. You got plenty of time until the race starts to do that. But yeah, at least for me, like, I don't know. Most of the time, my projections aren't that off of what like these other places are. And I just kind of base it off of where everybody is here based on what they're doing in practice and the upside that they have based on where they're started and stuff. So, I don't know. That's kind of how I approach it. Today is an instance to where, yet again, going back, I'm going to play 100% Justin Allgaier. I know that. If he blows a tire on lap 2, well, then we're just toast. But Allgaier, I'm probably going to have 8 or 9 of my 12 lineups with Cole Custer, specifically building the other 3 for if Cole Custer wrecks out. Probably going to have Haley Deegan and Sage Karam in 45 to 50% of the lines, each of those 2 people. And then past that, I'm just going to fill it out with like the AK drivers, Jesse Love, Sam Mayer, Jones, and then just hope that whatever lineup I have, the build has like, hey, man, that's what separates me. Or that's who gets the lead and stuff. This is why, at least for me, like this slate isn't nearly as fun as like the F1 one or the Truck Series one. Like Truck Series one, I like sunk my teeth into. I was like, oh my God, I can build different here. This one is like, we kind of know who's going to really compete to be optimal. The only thing that drastically changes that is if Custer crashes out, which yet again, we understand that Chandler Smith and Allgaier would be the primary beneficiaries of that. Or if, not Allgaier, AJ Allmendinger, because Allgaier is going to work anyway. Or AJ Allmendinger crashes, and then just you didn't play Allgaier, you're going to cash like that. That's where it's at. This isn't, I don't know. This slate really isn't that fun to break down. Although I've been talking for a long time and we have 69 people listening. Favorite fade today, man. I look at fade so differently. So differently than most people. Where am I drastically different? Let's see. Let me look at these. Let me look at ownership really fast. If ownership is accurate, it's going to be Nemechek because I'm going to not play Nemechek today. And I think that's going to be it because I don't really see a reason to play Nemechek. Because if Cole Custer crashes, yes, Nemechek can be the person to take over, but it opens the door for colleague, and Allgaier should be back up there at that point. Austin Hill, like I'm probably not going to play Austin Hill today, but like I just don't. And I hate saying that because I've gotten in so much trouble being like, I just don't see it with like me because I'm like, but like looking at this, okay, really, let me look at Nemechek. Let me actually, am I just like taking an easy way out here? Am I just being lazy? So Nemechek has been a top 4 car here. Okay, I'm acknowledging that he's 11,000. Yet again, we have to analyze this in 2 different ways. And if I'm wrong, please somebody call me out. Like, let me know. I'm always down to hear things. I'm always down to talk and stuff. So like Nemechek's 11,000. Okay. We're seeing that he has the speed and he's going to be top 5. Okay. When we look at his speed directly compared to Cole Custer, who he has to beat. Now, if he wrecks out, okay, whatever. But beating him based on like speed alone, this is him coming out of the pits with an adjustment stuff, but like, okay, pretty identical speed. Going to be a top 5 guy based on that. We'll look at this here. Nemechek is being hindered a bit on his long run, which we would like to see him be able to beat Allgaier, colleague cars, even Chandler Smith and stuff. I just like, so this type of stuff makes me like, yeah, I mean, probably end of the day, Nemechek would probably be the 4th fastest car all day. Can he get the lead? Is the question, man. Like, it's gonna have to be done in pit lane, or other people are gonna have to just drastically fall apart in the long run. Compare that with its price tag at 11,000. Who is he competing against? He's competing against Allgaier. He's competing directly against Cole Custer. Okay. If Cole Custer fails, based on salary wise, that opens up another place for a possible 10K guy to get up there. But then Nemechek is then also fighting against Chandler Smith, Allmendinger, Hill, which he can slightly outscore based on his place differential starting 12th, but he's at 11,000. He still won't be at value. You know, at that point, if you're hitting a 10K guy who's like at a 4.8 value, well, then Austin Hill would be the better play. Chandler Smith would be the better play. AJ would be the better play. And so, like, going through all that, and maybe that's just the wrong take, but I just don't see a reason to play I just don't see a reason to play Nemechek today. I have Nemechek projected for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have him finishing 6th place. 1 lap led, 8 fast laps. That's 48.85 points. Like, he would have to go out and kill the field to like realistically work, and that's just the situation where he has to go through so many things. I don't know if he can or would do it, and stuff like that. And let's see. SVG. So this is another situation. Yeah, like, okay, yeah. So, like, Daniel, you coming to like, I know you're new to this, man. SVG, this is his first ever oval race, man. First ever oval race, my guy. Realistically, I know he's done some short tracks. I know he's done some super speedways. This is feet to the fire, baptism by fire, fire and brimstone for this poor Australian man. This is a situation where if SVG shows up and finishes 9th, oh man, dude, I said I believe in the resurrection of CJ work, but man, if SVG came out and finished like 8th today, I might like chew on one of those hats over there. I cannot in good faith recommend playing SVG in any form or fashion. Starting 25th, that's a hard price tag to pay off when we're looking at his practice laps. Yet again, his first true oval, guys. Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, now, like, Josh Williams is shocking. Like, holy, why is Josh Williams so slow? You don't have that question with Shane because he's never done this before. Like, of course he's going to be slow. He's here to learn, man. Like, that's why he's slow. And that's why, like, he is going to be hard pressed to pay off that price tag. Like, I have him finishing 20th today. I have SVG finishing 20th. I cannot in good faith recommend playing SVG in any situation. That's not even me being safe or like trying to protect reputation. I just cannot I would, if he goes through, there's not, I could enter 10,000 lineups and I wouldn't have SVG in a fucking lineup today. And I mean, at that point, I think we've about covered everything. That's worth covering and stuff. So I'm probably going to let you guys go and enjoy your day. Let you build the rest of your lineups. Did this F1 crap pay out yet? Or are we still waiting 700 days for this? Nope. Still waiting. Still waiting. That's nice. Like, the FIA is going to do anything. Just pay out, guys. Just pay out at the line, man. Just pay out at the line. Who cares about waiting for this crap? Yeah, that's mainly it, guys. I hope you guys have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will be in the Discord and stuff for the rest of the day. If you are part of TrueDFS, come talk to me. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Cup Series video. That'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. 9. What time do I want to do it? I'll do 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's 9 o'clock my time. That's early enough. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.